Give me a second. 3, 2, 1. Gustavo Neri, AB Boxing News. I'm here with my guy, a brother, a Brooklyn's own, Teofimo Lopez, undisputed champion. What's going on, champ? How's everything, bro?
Oh, everything's good, man. Can't complain, man. Life is good. Life is good.
Yeah, I want to start off. I want to start off by saying I'm good. I want to start off by saying, congratulations again on your big victory. I know a lot of people didn't expect you to win that fight, but you proved everybody wrong. And look where you are now. But people tend to forget that this came step by step. It wasn't just done overnight. So I just want people to understand that it was a lot of hard work put in, not just for yourself, your family, your management, your father, especially your father. So I just want to start out by just congratulating all of you guys.
Thank you. Nah, it means a lot to me and to my fam and to all of us, man. To my manager, Dave McWhorter. I mean, we've done a tremendous amount of work. Obviously, me doing the rest of it, but just the ones behind the scenes, they've been doing a phenomenal job, man. And I'm very thankful to have a support team like them. So, yeah, man. Thank you for that. It means a lot to all of us.
How does it feel just to like kind of bring back that face of I wouldn't say I don't want to say face of boxing, but I want to say like the face of New York because for like maybe from my top of my head, right? Maybe Mike Tyson. He was the face of Nueva York, New York. Like how does it feel that maybe get that comparison of being that face of New York for boxing?
Yo, just alone, man. When I got to meet Mike Tyson, I mean, him telling me, he wrote on one of my WBC belts. He wrote, the best fighter in the world. Those things like that, and just I felt like that was just him passing the torch down to me. And I think that, man, that's the best way I could look at it, and I'm very appreciative of not only meeting someone that I idolize so much, but on top of that, just someone that has done so much for the sport and just pretty much letting me know like, hey, now it's your turn. Do your thing, represent, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Leading up to where we are now or yourself right now, what pushes you? What drives you? Because maybe 3 fights ago or maybe 5 fights ago was to become a world champion. You've done that. Then you became undisputed and also you beat like as many people say the number one pound for pound guy. So what continues to just push you to stay committed to the sport of boxing when you already achieved what many hasn't in such a short career?
I think it's because like what else is there to do? There's so much more to do. Like I always strive for just because we accomplished a mountain, there's another bigger mountain out there. My goal is when I hang it up, it's probably because I reached Mount Everest, which is the the biggest mountain in the world. So you know that to me is all about that, man. It's just there's so many success, it never ends. So that's what it's all about. I'm trying to leave a legacy. I'm trying to see what else can I do. Oh, okay, I know what I could do. Beat the winner of Ramirez Taylor for undisputed back to back, 135, 140. Okay, shoot, if we could do it at 147, let's do it at 147. So it's just things like that, making more records, breaking records, and making history, and just having my name solidified in the sport of boxing for the rest of my life,
Yeah.
even afterwards.
Yeah, now that you mention it, right? Ramirez and Taylor, undisputed fight at 140, a weight class that you're eventually going to move up, like you said. Two-time undisputed champion will be lovely in your resume, right? They announced it, it's signed. I think it's May 22nd, Las Vegas. I'm pretty sure you're going to be really interested in being in that fight and just looking who's going to win. What's your take on that fight? And, how do you see that playing out?
No, I think that it's about time. We are expecting some type of big fights being made this year. You got Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury going for undisputed as well. So I think that there's a good chance that we may see one or a couple undisputed championship fights on the line this year. So for them to start it off, absolutely. I'll definitely be there if I'm allowed to be there. There's a
Yeah.
difference. But the thing is, like, of course, I'm definitely gonna be watching that fight alone and definitely tuning in. So that way, those are the guys that we're gonna go up afterwards, after we're done with Cambosis or Ryan Garcia or whoever in the 35, and then move up to 140.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't, hopefully they don't vacate the belts afterwards and move
Okay.
up to 47.
Correct. In regards to Cambosis, the purse bid, it's not the first time it happens in boxing about purse bids and whatnot in different promotions and network, right? But
Hmm.
it's like you set it this trend and you became like the voice of the fighters that are afraid to speak, in other words, because I know you say what you say, And not to say that you don't care what you say, but I feel like you have earned that right to say what you want to say, and you've proven it. You know your worth, and you said it way before that you know what's your value, and you're gonna take advantage, and you took the risk, and look where it is. You got what was it, 6.2, 6.3 million on the
It
purse.
was yeah 6.1 yeah 6.18 yeah.
Okay, 6.18. So it's just to show people that when you're invested in yourself and you're committed and you believe in the vision, like anything is possible. But leading to that, right? Was there any like skeptics or like any concerns that, oh, maybe this might not even work for me? Like, was there any concerns in your head leading up to that deal?
No, I'm always gonna bet on myself, just like I did for the Lomachenko fight, just like I did for the Comey fight. Who was one of the most power punchers in the division. Hardest hitters, which was Richard Comey, and myself. And I think it's just things like that. So if people haven't noticed, then they should know by now that I'm always gonna bet on myself, and that's just who I am, and that's just someone that really believes that they're able to become the person that they set out to be. The mind could definitely work in many good ways if you know how to work it mentally. Um, and those are all the things that I play in my mind, man. I didn't not for once have doubt. I didn't have doubt. I was like, nah, I know that it's not even about my worth, more so that I'm the most one of the most dynamic and exciting fighters in the game. That's
Yeah,
all it is. As a fighter, it's not even for the worth, it's just the principle of it. As a fighter, I'm doing what I can. I'm setting out the tone. I'm putting out trends in a way of positivity. Of man, what I just did, it kind of like just switched up the boxing game in a
yeah,
positive aspect, in a positive way.
yeah,
And that's what it's all about, man. It's just I'm standing on for what's right. I'm standing on for all the fighters and for all of us that go out there and risk our lives every time we're in that square circle. And if I got to take the blows for it, then so be it.
yeah.
But I know that it's making a bigger difference for all of them out there.
Yeah, even on Saturday night, I talked to Chris Algieri, Ryan Garcia about your situation, and they were rooting for you. They were with you. They said, one exclamation point, right? Chris Algieri said, "Pay the fighters, pay them right, respect the fighters." Um, and I asked Ryan this particular question because it's already happened to you, and you know that eventually there's gonna be more purse bids and whatnot with mandatory. So I tell Ryan, does this put more pressure on your promoter to pay you right as well? Because eventually, if they're not paying you right, another network like Triller might just have your services for that first bid or the next mandatory fight, whatnot, right? So, do you think that's good for boxing? And also, how much concern should promoters be at this point? Because we know that this is a world of social media. Fighters control their own destiny now. Like it seems like that, right? What do you say to that?
It's more than that though. It's respect. As long as they all have a mutual respect, where the promoter understands where their position is at, the fighter, which is us, we know where we're at and where we stand. Hey, we come here to put our lives on the line to entertain everybody and all the fans in the world. You know, um, the promoters are not taking the blows. The fighters are. As long as they understand that who's really the ones that are calling the shots, in that way, it's just all about teamwork. If you're with a promoter, it's not a bad thing because obviously they're setting you into a path of becoming maybe one day undisputed lightweight world champion or undisputed champion in general, or become a world champion, which is our main goal in this sport. That's our award. That's our not just the money part of it. Of course, financially you get paid well, but it's also because of the awards you get out of it, the accolades, the accomplishments that you're doing. Um, but fighters need to understand, don't overprice yourself at a point like that right now.
Mm,
For myself, I knew that what I was being offered was so bad. There's no way that an undisputed lightweight world champion, if this was in the different times, it would be different. You know what I mean? I'll be on top of the world, literally.
yeah.
But obviously during these times where the pandemic and everything, of course, I definitely am understandable about all that. But the whole thing is that just be careful. You have to show something before you could call out for something.
Mm, understandable. Um, Even before you became undisputed, and I know before you became a world champion, we talked about it on a. That's all right.
My bad. His wife is doing laundry, and I'm just
That's all
like,
good, bro. Listen, it's your time, bro. I'm with you, bro.
no, 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 it's all good. I
Yeah,
ain't think. Nah,
Yeah.
yeah, she right. She right here. She's studying.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
man.
I was
Yeah,
saying like even before you became a world champion, a lot of people probably tend to forget about you had this a dark period of your time, right? Your mental health, right? We
yeah.
talked about it. I think you spoke about it too on ESPN. But I do want you to kind of give some words of encouragement to one Ryan Garcia because I seen a post today. He was talking about having anxieties. You know, he's in his his I don't want to say bad moment, but when you have anxieties, it could really affect a person. And I know you had your own mental health issues. I don't know if you're still going through it now, but I know it's not easy, especially on your popularity level. Can you just kind of give another fighter just a piece of advice, words of encouragement? Because when you're in the ring, I get it. We're enemies. He's trying to take your money and whatnot. But outside of boxing, I just feel like we should all be brothers. You know what I'm saying? And I know you're a good person.
Oh yeah, of course. I'll definitely put in my 2 cents. Even though maybe they may not want to hear it, but this probably will go for everybody. Yeah, we all get anxiety. We all maybe have something. It's just how you find a way to not control it but understand it. That's more of the understanding part. Is the whole the mentality of it. For me, man, when I'm going through stuff like that, if I'm going through anxiety or anything like that, you gotta have somebody you could talk to about it. For me, it's my wife, and I get to sit down. I talk to her. Hey, babe, I'm a little jittery over this and this and that, and we talk about it. She'll calm me down and make me see probably another perspective of it or point of view. Um, for me, it's also hitting the gym. Man, I gotta work out. I got to work out. I gotta go in the gym. For me, that's therapeutic. um Doing puzzles, that's also for my mental, and that's therapeutic for me. You just got to find something, man. It's not easy, it's definitely not, and I'm sure Ryan Garcia is on a different, he has his way. If he's feeling those anxieties and everything, I'm sure that it's probably twice as big as whatever I'm feeling.
Mm,
Whatever he's going through, whatever drought he's going through, I think that of course sometimes God puts us through hell just to get us to heaven. So if
mm,
he thinks of it as in a positive way, because we all go through, there's always, where there's a dark cloud, there's a sun right behind it. So it's a beautiful day after that. So I think that, man, right now what he's going through, he'll overcome it. He's got to overcome the storms that come our way. And I always look at it like whoever your creator is, they're testing you to see how bad you want it, or how strong your will is, or how strong are you mentally, because they prepare us for the next battles that we got to go through.
yeah, correct, correct. I know there's something in the past, right? Because they were talking about Ryan Garcia and Manny Pacquiao possibly going at it at a catch weight, 144, right? You are the man, right, at the weight class that he's competing in, right? Um, is that something maybe your team would want to do, you against Pacquiao at a catch weight 144? Because you are undisputed. Like, I just want people to understand, you are the guy at 135. You beat the guy that was the man at the time. So is that something that was considered or you want to push for
What, me and Pacquiao?
at 144? Because that's what they were supposed to fight at 144. So is
I'm
that
at a
something?
point. Look, I'm at a point. If it's a fight that the fans want, then absolutely. If everybody's calling for it, I do whatever the. It's not that I do, but it's like I go for whatever the fans want to go for, and what they're really interested in. Because at the end of the day, as me being a performer and an entertainer, I go out there and I make these fights happen. But it's more so for them, for what everybody wants to see, the haters, the lovers, just the people in the sports, whether they love combat sports, whether it's UFC, boxing. If they want to see a nice fight go on, that's what I'm gonna bring to the table. And that's what we all about. So if they want to see a Pacquiao Lopez fight happen, then so be it.
So be it. But would that be a dream come true though? Because I would think that's a fight that could never happen. But just seeing the fact that Ryan and Pacquiao was actually being considered, you say to yourself, wow, like that's a whole, like, let's say a 2 generation separation. The fact that it was even being considered, like, I'm like, wow, that's like a passing of the torch. If
Not,
that makes sense.
and yeah, in a way it is, But absolutely, it just goes to show, man. But man, Pacquiao ain't somebody to play with.
Mm.
Pacquiao's not, even at this age, man. He's going out there and whooping dudes left and right like nothing, like nothing. So, um, I think it'll be a great fight, man. I think whatever they were talking about with him and Ryan, I think it would have been something that probably people would have looked into.
Yeah.
a lot. See what this kid was all about.
Yeah.
And obviously it's not happening for whatever reason that's going on. And I think right now, I think at this moment, he just needs to just keep doing what he's doing.
Of course, of course. Um,
Yeah.
I know in the news they talked about I don't want to really talk about the things that's going on between you and Top Rank. I think it's already out there, right? But I do want to put on your promoter cap on, the takeover promotion, right? What's gonna bring what's gonna bring you like different from any other promoters, not just any promoters, but young promoters, because I look at it from maybe 2004, 2005, right? When De La Hoya left Bob Goldenwood Promotions. Floyd bought his contract out '07. Mayweather Promotions. Like, how is the takeover promotion going to be different from De La Hoya and Mayweather moving forward?
What's gonna be the difference about all the takeover promotions and everything? It's more so about um when we say takeover, man, it's bigger than just dominating a sport. It's pretty much putting a good influence for all those in the youth. So takeover promotions, man. Obviously, every fighter that I do have under the promotion is gonna be a legitimate future champion. And these guys, it's not gonna be no club fighters in my stable. Everybody that I'm gonna have is top tier, and those type of fighters that deserve to be. You know, the whole thing is that takeover promotion is not only with a few. I can't say now,
Yeah, of course, of
but
course.
I understand with the fighters because obviously I'm one of them. I understand certain things and how the promoters work. Obviously, look what's going on. Top Rank is going to get 20% of whatever I make for this fight, and they're happy with it without even doing anything. See, that those are the things that I've learned that maybe it's not right, you know.
Yeah,
But I learned that. So what do I do for it? I pass it down, in a better way. Maybe not take 20% of whatever the fighter does. If they do whatever they do, and that's on their end.
yeah,
When um, it's just more of a being more of a mutual, respectful way of understanding the fighter. Hey, I got you. I know you want to become this fighter at this time, but let's build you up a little bit more. Just the same thing, man. The whole thing is just that you're under Teofimo. You're under the guy that's gonna watch over your careers in a better way. I'm not saying Golden Boy or Mayweather Promotions is not doing it. I'm just saying that you also got to treat the fighters as if it was you.
yeah,
And that's what we're gonna do. Takeover promotion is not just something to be just thrown around for anything. It's
yeah,
more so for the young fighters out there that have a dream that are setting on to it. And we're gonna test their limits. And we're gonna see how bad they really want it.
yeah,
So when you come here, you better have your big boy pants on because it's if you want to be great, if you want to shoot for greatness, and you say that you are the best, then we'll test you for it.
yeah. One thing I do want to mention is because you mentioned a great point that you're gonna guide your fighters the right way with the guidance of
Hmm.
Teofimo Lopez. A lot of fighters sometimes when they're raw and young in this politics of boxing, they always want things to accelerate, right? Fast, 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 fast. Sometimes like gotta take two steps back and let just little by little, because I feel like sometimes when you're rushed, that's when things don't go the right way.
Yep.
There's some fighters, right? Like yourself, in less than 20 fights, you achieve, like I said before, things that fighters are still trying to do, right? 10 plus years in the game, right? Like you were very fortunate. So fighters should understand, like, you have something more important that they don't have, the knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's You have the knowledge. And I say to myself, like, is that a scary thought in your behalf to play those two roles, like fighter and promoter? Have you
No, not at all. Not at all. Because at the end of the day, you have to understand that they have a family, they have their lives, and they have to make sure that they're right. But the whole thing is more of it's like take over one-on-one session. Like, hey man, you know what you should do with this when you get this X amount of money? Put it into a stock or put it into financial in your life. Because when you do get hurt, because we all get hurt
of
in this
course,
sport, and you're gonna have some time out, how you gonna take care of yourself and your wife or your girlfriend, whoever, your family or whoever? How you gonna be able to if there's no money coming in? So you need money to. So it's just more things like that. It's more of a if I have you under my wing, it's only for the meantime until you are able to fly and
yeah.
become your own person. And there
Mm,
ain't no hard feelings over it.
yeah,
So it's more so like the takeover. Takeover Promotions is just watching over the youth, making sure the youth is good, structuring them in a positive way. Instead of buying $200,000 change, you could buy $200,000 worth of stock or something else. Put your money where it could start working for you, um, and then go from there. Whenever they want to depart from the Takeover Promotions, go ahead. We set a good tone, and for anybody that takes advantage of it, then I let God deal with those type of people. But till then, once that gets the ball rolling, I can't wait, man. I'm very appreciative and I'm very happy. I'm all about giving back, but it's more so just paying it forward.
Yeah.
It's never about taking it all back.
Yeah, and I find it very like I said, I know you on a personal level, right? Um, it's like I know a lot of people are gonna see this surprising that the way you said it, right? That no hard feelings, like you could guide them, and whenever they're gonna fly, it is what it is, right? Because I know a lot of promoters when one of their top stars leave, it's like it's always for some reason it's a bad blood, like it's like oh this and that, he's asking for too much, blah 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 blah, and it ends bad, And the fact that I'm hearing this from you, like I'm really understanding that you really are trying to help them out. And like I said, you can't control what happens in the future, but if it gets to that point, like you already mentally prepare for it, for the worst
Because
and for the best.
at the end of the day, I'm always gonna make sure I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I will help those that are on their way to become the next Teofimo or become whoever they want to become. Be
Yeah.
the next whoever, be themselves. That's the whole point. The
Mm.
reason why it's not just because of the knowledge or whatever I bring. I'm only 23. There's people that's older than me. They should have more sense than I do. It's more so that I ain't following nobody. I'm just becoming my own leader. I set on it, and I'm just 10 toes down on it, and I stand for something. Just like LeBron James is standing for something, just like Michael Jordan, just like Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, we could keep going on and on. You got to stand for something, and when you stand for something, I mean, look what's going on now, man. I guess the boxing gods are blessing me.
You're definitely right. They definitely are blessing you. I want to move on a little bit, right? With Devin Haney potentially fighting Jorge Linares. Part one, right? Is that the fight that puts Devin Haney in the map in terms of comparing other fights, like let's say yourself, Lomachenko, Garcia versus Campbell, Tank, and Leo Santa Cruz. Is that a fight that will put him up there with you guys?
It'll be like Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell,
Okay.
and Devin Haney and Jorge LINARES. And I'm
Okay.
just saying that because and there's no discredit to Leonares. I just think that he's already over his prime. You know what I mean? But he's still someone that you definitely got to watch over. He still has that strong, straight, fast right hand. Come back with that left hook. So those are the things that, of course, Devin Haney's gonna have to watch over for. And Leonares is a smart individual that is very fast. So yeah, I think that they'll definitely, depending what Devin Haney does against Leonares, um, yeah, I think that he'll definitely bring the fight where it could be me and him potentially.
Yeah. Would it impress you if Devin Haney is able to stop Linares that night? If they
Oh
meet.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, absolutely. But I know he ain't. But absolutely, it would have surprised me. But I know that he's not. He's not. That's not his style.
Okay.
Stylistically, it's not his style.
Okay.
His style is to hit, don't get hit, and look pretty. And yeah, it's okay to look pretty, but sometimes pretty can look boring.
Hmm.
You know
Okay.
what I
Okay.
mean? When you see pretty too much for too long, and it's a 36-minute fight going on, and you see pretty too long, you ain't see nothing ugly going in. You're like, man, this shit whack.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just saying like that. At the end of the day, whatever he does with Linares or Lomachenko or whatever they talking about, I wish him nothing but the best. May he do what he has to do. May he get this job and look phenomenal, so that way we can make that fight happen next.
Mm. I seen in Instagram, right? I forgot the name of the person. He put a picture of you and Cambosis as like the undercard, and Mike Tyson and Holyfield as the main event.
Yeah.
I know people don't have an issue with that, right? I seen another
Mhm.
one. They put like you and Cambosis, and then Jake Paul and the guy that's fighting. I know. I was like in my head. I know Teofimo will not be down with that if you was to
No,
fight
no,
the same card with Jake Paul.
no, not at all. I got offered that and I said no. So
Wow.
I
Oh,
said
really?
hell
They
no.
offered you to be on that Jake Paul card, you saying? Mm.
Yeah,
And you turn it
but it
down right
wasn't.
away.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just cause look, whatever they're doing, at the end of the day, I'm an entertainer. We didn't know who was gonna win. Anybody was up for grabs. Obviously, I was hoping that ESPN would not ESPN, but more so Top Rank push that. And because I'm sure ESPN did their part on that side. And obviously they didn't come through Top Rank, and Triller won the bid, and of course, it's a shocking thing, but however, it's a great thing for the sport.
Yeah.
It really is. It just goes to show, like, hey, at the end of the day, I may not agree about the YouTubers and it being actual considered a professional fight. I don't agree to that because why call it exhibition but still count it as a fight? That I don't understand. However, I think at the end of the day, it is a new day and era. It's a new time. And for myself, I'm just going out there that I think at the end of the day, Triller wants to also put in there that they're a legitimate company that is in there for the fights, for the boxing fights. They tried it with Mike Tyson. They had a couple professional fighters in there on the undercards. So now they got Teofimo that's going to be the main event, and whoever is going to be on the undercard is going to be almost like a DAZN or ESPN type of fight card.
Yeah.
Now that Triller's in the mix, so this is what Triller is like what the zone was a couple years back.
Okay.
So Triller is just making a move now where yeah, they're gonna have celebrities and all that, and it's a different dynamic, it's a different platform, and it's a whole different way of changing the game. However, they are going to have us fighters perform as well.
Mm. You mentioned how the zone Thriller's doing that, right? Is that something you will want to do for
Hmm.
takeover promotions, like you just mentioned, right? Fighters and a couple of celebrities, or some fighters from the past. Is that something that you would consider doing too for your promotions?
As in for what, just having like what, like a like a old timer going in with a new.
No, so like for example, right, like Mike Tyson, Holyfield, right? That's a fight itself,
Mhm.
and then have like I would still consider a real fight, but that's a fight like more like entertainment aspect, like how was it like almost like a movie, right? Like you want to see it,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
like it might not be like what it would be 20 years ago.
like 20 years ago. Yeah, of
You know what
course.
Yeah. So then, like
Yeah.
you said, you will fight. You'll be in a real fight, right? Cambosis, like would you want to do the same thing, like what they're planning on doing, right? Tyson, Holyfield, and you, Cambosis, and then have other fighters under you, real fights.
Um, that's for Triller. That's for
Okay,
Triller.
but not for
Yeah,
takeover.
that's for Triller. Takeover. I have my own way of looking at things. I still
Gotcha,
respect. It's not that I shouldn't say respect. I just have a way of my principle of boxing. That's all.
gotcha. And
That's
there's
all it
and
is.
there's nothing
But
wrong
I
with that.
do, but I do respect what Triller's doing, and I do respect all the platforms that are in the game of boxing and what they're actually moving for. If anything, what this guy is doing, Ryan Kavanagh, is actually bringing the sport of boxing alive in another way. It's almost like he's giving us CPR,
Yeah,
to the sport in a good way though. If you look at it, so I had to look at it in that way too, and that's why I'm thankful and I'm grateful for Triller, and I'm definitely gonna put on a hell of a performance and a show with them, and I'm very thankful, man, and I look forward to many more events. I look forward to many more fights, man. Whether it's with Triller, ESPN, PBC, The Zone. I mean, Showtime Sports. I mean, the list could go on and on. Once Teofimo becomes his free agent and his takeover promotions, you know, uh, may the best man win.
yeah. I would assume when that happens, you're gonna strongly take your time. And my this is my theory, right? That you're going to maybe take like a one fight deal with a network and try to explore, right, all the markets that are out there. Correct, like Canelo, right? Because right now he does what, like two fight deals, and then he gets to explore
Hmm.
wherever he wants. Like, is that
Yeah. I think
ultimately?
that I think that Canelo learned, not to do a long-term um, fight contract deal.
Mhm.
Floyd did say he did a good proportion of it, where he did a six-fight deal with Showtime. Canelo did an 11-fight deal, and obviously, it didn't. Whatever happened happened. So I think Canelo is just more aware, you
Mm.
know, of how many fights he should agree to in those terms of network, and because anything could happen. I mean, COVID hit us, and we didn't even expect that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so a lot of things can happen at any given time. So I think that what Canelo's doing, he's just learning from his mistakes, and it's not a loss; it's a lesson, and he's doing it phenomenal. He's doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, correct,
Yeah,
correct. You mentioned something like crazy, right? You talked about COVID, right? You,
yeah,
I mean, on top of my head, you was probably like the top two fights of 2020. And the fact that you had to overcome the injury, the foot injury you had that nobody knew, right? That's one. Number two, COVID. And then number three, just that whole transition of, training camp during
no
COVID.
fans
That, yeah, and then no fans. Like that must have been like I don't know,
and
like
the
a
underdog
crazy adjustment, right?
and the underdog. I think what it was 4-1 odds.
Yeah. That was a good
Yeah,
night in
man.
the bank, I'll tell you that much, bro.
Yeah, man. I spoke with Canelo that day, man. He said he was gonna throw in 50,000. Oh, he would have made a come up. Yeah, man. But he did. He said that his guy didn't come in time to collect the money. So
Uh,
yeah, so that kind of like ruined the situation. But at least we got to talk about all of that, man. He was very proud of me. He gave me a hug and with all respect. And I think honestly, it's just more so about it's adversity. You just got to learn how to fight through all that.
okay, okay. I
Yeah,
think
I think that what I said, you gotta be mentally strong here. If you're not mentally strong here, then obviously um the whole foundation, the bottom of it starts to tumble.
mm, okay, okay.
And then that whole empire that you built throughout the time is gonna start collapsing. So you got to take care of your chickens first. You got to take care of your mental. Um, and it's the most important thing. Whether it's reading a book, like I said, man, whether it's any of those things, you just got to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your body, um, take care of your mental, take care of your families, and that's it.
And the rest will fall